Let's have a look at some very easy change of subject of formulae questions. In these sort of questions you're going to be given a formula, and quite often there will be a letter which appears on its own. This time we've got a y that appears on the left hand side on its own, y equals x plus 7. What the formula is for doesn't matter. This, for example, is a formula which represents an equation of a straight line graph. It doesn't matter what it's for. I'm not interested in this particular type of question. What I'm going to try and do is rearrange the formula to get x on its own, and I'm just going to use the rules that we use to manipulate algebra in equations to get it. Okay, so if I want to get x on its own, well, where is x? There it is. So leave the x where it is on the right hand side, and I'll take everything else to the other side. So I'm going to leave the y on the left, there it is, and I'm going to get hold of the plus 7, take it to the other side, you get minus 7. So we end up with y minus 7 equals x. The thing I want on its own is x. It's on the right hand side, that's fine. You can leave it on the right hand side. So there's the answer, y minus 7 equals x. End of question. Let's try another one. Number 2. How about z is equal to q minus 4, and I want q to be on its own. Well, q is on the right hand side. At the moment z's the subject, but I want q to be the subject. Well, leave the q on the right hand side. Leave it there. Get it on its own, so that means I need to take the minus 4 to the other side. So the z stays put on the left, and the minus 4, take it over, becomes plus 4. So you end up with z plus 4 equals q. That's it, finished. Number 3. Sometimes you might have something like this. You might have 2q is equal to y. Now, as it stands at the moment, the subject is y, and the y is on the right hand side. That's fine. Doesn't matter whether it's on the left or the right. It's the subject if it's on its own. Now, at the moment y is the subject. I want q to be the subject. Well, q is there. Now this time it's not q add 2, it's 2 q's. So how would you go from 2q to 1q if you were solving an equation? Well, I hope you'd say to me that you'd divide by 2. So that's exactly what we do. We divide that by 2, so you divide that by 2. So you take the y and you divide that by 2. And there you go, you get q is equal to y over 2. End of question. Number 4. How about 7 is equal to 2 p's, and I think I'll call it 7y is equal to 2 p's. Now at the moment here you can see 7y equals 2p. There isn't a letter just on its own. We don't have y equals, and we don't have something equals just p. We've got 7y equals 2p, so at the moment there isn't a subject. In this particular case, I want to rearrange it to get p to be the subject. So where's p? P's on the right. It's part of 2p. How do I go from 2p to get just 1p? I share it by 2. So I have to take the 7y and I share that by 2 as well. And there you go, you get 7y over 2 is equal to p. I'll do another couple of easy ones over here. Number 5, here we go. How about this one? Y equals 3x's plus 1. And I want to swap that around to get x to be the subject. At the moment y is the subject, the thing on its own. Well, okay, where is the x? It's there, it's part of 3x. So if I was trying to solve an equation, the first thing you do is get the x's on their own and everything else on the other side. Well, you do exactly the same thing here. You get the 3x's on their own. So you leave the 3x exactly where it is, and you take the plus 1 to the other side to join the y. And you end up with y take away 1. But I don't want 3x's, I want 1x. So to go from 3x to 1x, you share it by 3. So if I share the right hand side by 3, I must share the left hand side by 3. So if I'm going to share that by 3, you've got to share the whole thing by 3. So I'm going to put a bracket round the whole thing, and I'm going to share it by 3. And there you go, you've got x on its own. It's on the right, but that's fine. I'll do one more like this. Number 6. What about z is equal to 4y's minus 5? And I want to swap this around to get y as the subject of the formula. Okay, where is the y? It's on the right hand side. It's part of 4y. So what you need to do is get the 4y on the right on its own first. So leave the 4y where it is. Next, take the minus 5 away from the 4y and take it to the left hand side. The z stays exactly where it is on the left, leave it alone, doesn't change sign, and the minus 5 taken over becomes a plus 5. So you get z plus 5 equals 4y's. But I don't want 4y, I want 1y. So to go from 4y to get 1y, you share by 4. So you have to share the other side by 4. So what I'm going to do is put a big bracket around the whole thing and share the whole lot by 4. And there is your formula for y. And that is perfectly acceptable for your answer for the examiner. So 6 very basic examples of the easiest type of change of subject of formula.